Go. So, Frank, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. And I know you're a big legend on Teesside, where I'm from. As people know, I'm a Middlesbrough fan. So, fantastic to chat to you today. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for the legend. But yes, I tried to do my best when I went in Middlesbrough, and eventually it went well. So, I'm happy with it.
You're a big part of Middlesbrough history, and I'm sure we'll come on to that later. But first of all, I'm going to start with the all-important question. Where did it begin for you in football, Frank? When did you realise that football was what you wanted to do?
I realized very early. I was like maybe 3 years old. So yeah, I started to play in the backyard with my dog, and I always wanted to do playing football. So yes, I started as soon as I got the age to take my license, and I was 5. I was already playing with the higher categories, because at 5 you don't play that much. It's just fun. But no, I started early.
Who were the players who you looked up to the most when you were a young boy?
I always watched, all, I would say, bad guys. But my favorite player was like Eric Cantona.
Oh yeah. Eric Cantona. He'll have been a big one for you as well, with him being French too, won't he?
Yeah, exactly. It's I looked up to him, and he was a player with character. So it's he knew what he wanted, and he took it when he had a chance.
He was a fantastic player, and I'm sure there's many other people that idolise him too. Did you always want to be a left back when you were growing up and playing football?
I actually started as a centre mid.
Yeah.
But because of left-footed at the start, it was like not a lot of left-footed were like playing in midfield, like in centre mid position. And we had a problem when I arrived in Lens, actually in under 17. When I arrived in Lens, and they put me left back because they were like a player in this position. And from there, I kept going, playing left back. But I always had the mentality of a midfield, I would say.
Yeah, wanting to burst into the box and get some crossing and score a few goals.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
When I could.
When you were at Lens, how did it feel? Obviously, that was your first real club, and obviously, of course, it's in your home country of France.
Yes, obviously, Lens and Middlesbrough is very similar team. To be honest, they're very family club. It's a family club, and when I left Lens after and I went on loan to Middlesbrough, it was so easy. The welcome from all the secretary at the start. It was like Zilia Knight was like the secretary in charge of all the foreign players, I would say, because she was a little bit Brazilian as well, her. So, but all the welcome from all the staff, I would say the secretary, like Karen. Steve Lam. So a lot of people were like welcome me in this club. So like when I left Lens, it was the same actually. People are very nice and warm welcome.
You didn't spend too many years at Lens before officially moving on to Middlesbrough. Was the English game always something you wanted to get into, and were you a fan of the English game as a boy growing up?
Yes, exactly. I always watch, in a French TV, you got like on a Sunday night, you got a whole championship in Europe in a TV show, and they details all the, I would say all the big 5 game of the team in each country in Europe, Look, like growing up, I was looking at Arsenal, Manchester United. At the time, with Newcastle, were part of the B5, Liverpool. In some other team, Chelsea, I think. But growing up, I was looking at those teams, and you were like the other teams were just the results, but you got the big teams were like a full show on it. That for Germany, that for Spain, and Italy, and England, obviously. But I've always been attracted to England. So I was delighted when I had the opportunity to come.
And because I guess the Premier League's always had sort of a strong link with France, because there's always been top French players who've played in the English league, such as like Eric Cantona, who you looked up to, as you said. And when you joined Middlesbrough, as you said to me a few minutes ago, they made you feel very welcome.
Yeah, exactly. It was like a quick start as well for me, when I first arrived to Middlesbrough, because train, I would say the Saturday and the Sunday, I was coming on trial, actually, the Saturday, Sunday, only with Steve Harrison and Steve Round at the time, were taking in charge, because Steve McLaren was still an assistant English manager. So he was with Sven-Goran Eriksson at the time, his assistant for the English team. And then when he arrived after the international break, he saw me play maybe the Monday, and he said, "Okay, that's enough for me." So I came back to France, actually, I would say I came back to France on a Tuesday. I got a call straight away on Tuesday to say, you need to come back as soon as you can. So I came back on a Wednesday, and then on a Wednesday, the Thursday morning, I had to sign my contract before 12 to play away at Charlton on a Saturday. So it was like a quick week for me.
It was initially a loan spell, wasn't it? The 2001 to
Yes.
the 2002 season. And then, of course, after that, you signed permanently. After that loan spell, was it just a certain in your mind that you did want to sign the contract for Middlesbrough permanently?
Yes, of course. I wanted to stay. To be fair, in England, and Middlesbrough was the perfect fit for me. So yes, it was like I would say an evidence.
Yeah, it's and certainly it was a good decision, because you became part of some of the biggest moments in Middlesbrough history. Obviously that Bolton game,
and of my career as well.
Yeah, and I know you're certainly still well liked on Teesside, and that game against Bolton, the Carling Cup win, that's probably one of the biggest moments in. That's probably the biggest moment in Middlesbrough history. A piece of silverware. How was it being a part of that cup-winning team?
But it's always nice to win silverwares. But the main thing I want to say, it's who you're going to win the silverware with. And actually, we had a fantastic group. Not only the staff, but the players, even those who were not here, were like being part of the qualifying to the road to the final. Actually, I'm thinking, because I just read Mali's book, Malcolm Christie, and actually, he's the guy who first scored a goal in a difficult game and get through us the first round. Yeah. So it's don't forget, it's not just only the final, but it's the road to the final.
Yeah. And of course, it was a great squad, the likes of Juninho as well, Gareth Southgate, yourself, Hugo Ehiogu, he was in the team as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And there was it was a great team. But how did it feel being a part of that group, which is Because I think McLaren's era is deemed as the most successful on Teesside out of any manager.
Yeah, but it's like I say, you know, we're a fantastic team on a pitch, off the pitch, because we are all living well together. But no, be part of those kind of team is very grateful. You know, it's I would say it's a pure happiness. I would say, you know, it's you can't wait to get to the training ground to get with your friends to play football. You know, play with passion. Obviously, you are up and downs. You know, happens. You know, you got injuries, you got kind of stuff like that. But it's always someone who there to pick you up and get you to looking forward. And yeah, it was like that kind of the group. That's why we achieved some. Maybe we overachieved at the time because with the quality we had, but as a team we were like quite strong.
And I think team chemistry goes a long way, don't you?
Of course, yeah. That helps a lot, you know, to fight for each other. It's important.
I mean, I think players connecting and having bonds with each other is a massive thing, because a prime example is you look at the current Manchester United team, which I think has a few rifts in the dressing room. It doesn't work well on the pitch. So I think having team chemistry is probably one of the most important things in football.
The thing is, we have that. You know, the problem you're talking about with Man United is exactly that. They've got individuals quality.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But with no team spirit, it's difficult to achieve something. But that's what we had in Middlesbrough. We had a team spirit that could, like, you know, reverse mountain. And actually, you know, we did it a couple of times actually in UEFA Cup and Europa League now. But yeah, and we have some individuals, but you know, like you say, Juninho, Mendieta, Zenden, Hasselbank, Viduka, you got some quality within the group, within that team spirit that could lift anything.
Speaking of that UEFA Cup run, how was your experience in that?
The experience you get from playing European teams, and you know, mostly in when you played some you know, European games, you take some experience, you grow faster as a player, you know, and you always play against I would say international players, so you learn faster to play those games. For your experience, it's massive.
I know it was a great run. There was just the disappointment in the final with the defeat to Sevilla, but still good memories of that whole run and playing in that.
No, of course, that's the great memories. That's what I said to the dressing room after, to the guys. I say, listen, a lot of people were in front of their TV and watching us. We were playing the final. That's a good achievement already, you know, like, so, you know, after that, it's just like, you know, because obviously, you know, the rivalry with Newcastle, with Sunderland when you're in the Northeast. And obviously, you know, I said to the guys, you know, listen, all the players from Newcastle, from Sunderland were sitting up front of their TV and watching us. We were playing us. So listen, we were playing the final. So listen, be proud of what we've done. And obviously, you know, after that, we will never be the same, I would say. It was never be the same.
I think that's certainly a great way of looking at it, and there were certainly the glory days of Middlesbrough. we don't quite see too much of that now. Do you still follow the club these days, Frank?
Yes, of course, yeah. I even try to find a striker for Middlesbrough.
Well, please just find us one person. I think that's what's needed the most for them. How do you feel about Middlesbrough now? I know since Chris Wilder's taken over, there's sort of the sense of something's being built again at the club, and something special could be on its way soon with
hopefully, you know, you say that we've been part of history in that a bit silverware, but I would say clubs are like a circle, so I hope is the season for Middlesbrough to get back up, to do. I think they've got. That's what I saw, and when you play in Marseille, obviously, because I couldn't watch the game. That's what I saw. I saw a team, and I think to get out of the championship, you need to get a team. They've got individuals. Like remember a bit, the team we had, with some strong team spirit, with some individuals who can make difference at any time. So that's what you need in this league, in a championship. So I got good hopes for them.
I think they've got a fantastic team now. I think just another striker maybe off a really, really good team.
Exactly, but that's what I saw. That's why I was thinking. But I really tried to contact Kieran and to to get, because I've got some opportunities, but some voilà. That's another story.
Yeah, send anyone you can to him.
I will. Yeah. I'll try.
Get us a 20+ goal scorer for the upcoming season.
You need, if you want to get up in the Premier League, you need a striker who score like nearly 15 or 15+.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need, I think. And you do the business, Frank. Get someone into the club.
We'll see.
Yeah. Eventually, in 2006, you came to leave Middlesbrough. Was it a tough decision to make after spending so many good years and having so many good memories? Was it sad to say bye to the club?
It was tough times. I was like a little bit heartbroken, but after 5 fantastic years I spent in the club, obviously it was maybe a time to leave a bit some space for the youngsters and to recreate something. Obviously, because we were like quite getting old as well, but with Gareth Southgate, 2 years from retirement. After that, we've got Hugo who left. We've got a lot of people, Colin Cooper as well. Coops were leaving as well. Another generation needed to take over. So yeah, I think it was a time for me to maybe explore a bit more another club, and obviously I went to Fulham after that. But I never regret my decisions, because I took my decision with all the family, and so it was like a minded decision.
How was the Fulham spell for you? I know you only spent the season there, because didn't you leave because you didn't agree with the style of football or whatever was being played?
Yes. I actually left. I was going to stay for a long time as well in Fulham with Chris Coleman, Cookie. It was for me fantastic. I think he went. I would say they fired him a little bit too early. With 5 games left, we were like needed just 1 win, and they decided to took like Larry Sanchez, and obviously it was a quite different vision of the game. That's what I say, and so I decided that for me, I wanted to play football, not
hoofball.
Yeah. So yes, that's why I left, and obviously I got a chance to bounce back to Birmingham after that.
Is it frustrating as a player in the dressing room when something like that happens so close to the end of the season? You only need 1 win. Your manager's sacked, because as fans, when we see the news in Sky Sports, you think, well, why have they just sacked him? You only need a couple of points, and it's just close to the end of the season.
Exactly, but listen, I don't know why, but you went like that. So it was a bit disappointing. Obviously, there's when a manager wants to sign you, and straight after he's got a sack. It's difficult. You need to be well, and as you know, you can't please everyone. You can't be liked by everyone. So obviously, with the new manager came on, and I wasn't this style of player. So I went to this office and spoke to him. So they let me go for a good price. So everybody was happy at the end.
And your final club in England was Birmingham, well, before a lot of Colchester. But how was your spell at Birmingham? I know you joined for a fee of 2.5 million. Another big club in terms of history and everything. How did you enjoy your spell there?
It's a bit tough at the start, to be fair. Because I came back a bit unfit. Steve Bruce has got the same problem as Chris Coleman, I would say. when I first arrived, actually, he had an argument with one of the champions at the time. I think it was David Gold. No, David Sullivan.
Oh, because did he say something about why? Why they signed you?
Yeah, so that's why it was a little bit of argument with him. So he decided to leave the club, and after the manager was, I can't remember now. But and it was difficult because Alex McLeish arrived.
Yeah,
Alex McLeish arrived, and actually, he went all right for me because Alex and his staff, were fantastic. All Scottish lads was okay, and we had a fantastic group as well.
Yeah.
Same. The Scottish lads were very nice guys. Brian McFadden, Ferguson, Gary O'Connor, and I went missing some, but. It was nice. I had a good time as well in Birmingham.
A Scottish manager sort of has that effect, don't they? When they come in, sort of quite a few Scottish players end up coming along with them.
Yeah, but all the Scottish players who went in the club were like football players.
Yeah.
Mainly, we were like a good footballing team. Passing the ball well, and clever lads. So it was like easy to play with, and that's why I had a good time as well in Birmingham, because I was playing football.
Because that's what you want as a player, isn't it? To play football, not to just we're early just lumping it.
Yeah, it's I'm not French. You play football, you play on the floor, you play, but that's kind of thing you
ball
like
on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Of course, Frank, you've spent a lot of great years in the Premier League, so I've got a few questions for you now. As obviously Middlesbrough, Fulham and Birmingham, you'll play with some fantastic players. Is there any that stand out as some of the greats that you've played with?
Did I play with? To be fair, I played with a lot of good guys, throughout the years I spent. Even in Colchester, I played with some fantastic guys, yes, I play with some good guys, but it's difficult to stand one out, in each team. I spent some good times. Obviously, you got great players like you had Hasselbank, Viduka, Mendieta in Middlesbrough, Zenden, Boateng, Southgate, Schwarzer. Fantastic players as well, and all international. In Fulham, I got spent a lot of time with Carlos Bocanegra, who's been Captain America. We've got in Birmingham, I play with, like I said, James McFadden, fantastic player, very technique. I play with Mick Taylor and goal, Colin Doyle, international as well. But I can name it, I spend a lot of time with them, and so all like different characters, but all nice guys. That's the most important.
As we said, team chemistry and people bonding is a massive thing. As a left back, though, I'm sure you'll have came up against some very tricky wingers to play against and forwards. Any that stand out as a bit of a nuisance and nightmare to play against?
I would say the guys who gave me most complicated game I get against, it was like you got Aaron Lennon, kind of small guy.
He was a good player.
But the worst who gave me a turret, I would say, you must know him.
Which club?
He played at Chelsea, City, right winger, small.
Obviously, you spent a lot of years in the Premier League, didn't you? Let me have give me another clue, Frank.
His dad.
Yeah.
His dad was a really good pro for Arsenal as well.
That was a really good pro for Arsenal. My dad's an Arsenal fan as well, so just trying to think of this one.
His initials are SWP.
RSWP.
SWP. S is his.
Sean Wright Phillips.
Exactly.
Yeah. Was he really?
He was like when he was at Man City and Chelsea. He gave me two very tough games. That's the worst. I didn't play actually. I just tried to defend this game. So yeah, it was tricky, and that's the guy who gave me the most difficult time.
Was he one of them players that he was that good? You just have to try and kick him to take him out of the game.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's small. His center of gravity is very low, and even if I tried to shoulder him, and he was bouncing back and getting back up, and it just was like it was crazy.
As a defender, are them small, quick players always the biggest nightmares to play against?
Of course, yes, and you got the opposite. We've got as well when you play like strong guys. It's not like Alan Shearer, strong guy, not very tall but strong guy. It's quite difficult as well. They're very clever. They use their body well, and you got the tall Niall Quinn when I first arrived. It's quite tricky to mark as well. So, kind of player like that, with different aspect of the game, it was quite tricky, like to defend, like at Sunderland at the time, I swear, like they were like Niall Quinn, Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, Jermaine Defoe is another brilliant one. Did you ever have any big bust-ups on the pitch with any players? I know back around the time you were playing in the Premier League, it was notorious for players having bust-ups and
no, just argument on the pitch. Yeah. No, not much. But after off the pitch, the game is off. They all, for me, there's no. I would say, on the pitch, I can be bad, but off the pitch is over. My job is over. My job is on the pitch. After the pitch, it's over.
And that's
we're all friendly.
Everybody's friends.
Exactly. It's our job on a pitch.
And as I've just had a thing come up saying we're running out of time. So my final question will be, Frank, it's been a pleasure to chat today, and give me one highlight of your career as a whole.
The highlight has to be the Carling Cup for me, because obviously it's a piece of silverware, but to be part, like you saying, in this team, after 128 years of existing, and to give as well the Steve Gibson this piece of silverware for for him as well, because he deserved it. He stayed in the shade, he stayed in the shadow behind everybody. Everybody knows, he's not alone, but he's a big part of, the success story, I would say, at the time. He's been confident in the manager. It's important to get like some continuity, Obviously, he gave the chance to see McLaren, and he stick with him, and he works. He gave him 5 years. 5 years. If you look at the managers now, they're doing 2-3 years max, and then they got the sack and they bounce back somewhere else. But at the time, it was like trust, because it was like I say, you have to give him time to put in place what he wants to achieve, and he works. He works for us as well, And
you're very right there, because he's been a brilliant chairman over the years. I think he'd probably go down as one of the best in the country. And now you've retired, do you still like to keep involved in the game, Frank?
Yes, obviously I follow Middlesbrough. I follow my previous club. Obviously, it's important, but I'd say I'm more into golf now, a little bit. Yeah. I follow football as well, but more into golf, because I create a firm with an old teammates, Daniel Morera, called Tactic. We organize like seminars for company, and with some golf initiation. So we're doing like a bit of parallel between the companies and high profile players, professional, athlete. How do you talk some similarities between the company and being pro and a high level sport?
I enjoy a bit of golf. It's a great game. And Frank, it's been a pleasure to chat. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.